Welcome back to That's Craftable. Do you have old CDs and DVDs laying around? That's Craftable. And I'm not the only one who says so. Meet my very first ever collab here on YouTube. She is the most phenomenal woman you will ever meet. And look at the dress that she made using CDs and DVDs. Over on her channel, you'll find that she's made a dress from newspaper. She's painted a wall. She also painted the Starry Night by Van Gogh, which is very hard to do, on the back of a denim jacket. This is a screenshot of her channel. This is again the dress that she made. I will have her linked in the iCards above, in my description box, and at the end of this video. Y'all have to go check out what she did. After you leave this video, that needs to be your next destination. So for my first DIY, all I did was take a CD. I gave it a good coat of the oil rub bronze by Rustoleum. And I showed you 4 there, but we just need 1. Cut it in half. And then I was using a craft stick just to kind of make sure that all of mine stayed around the same size. But of course you don't have to do that. That and plus it made them kind of stay together so that when I glued them to the back of the CD, it just kind of made it easier. And you don't even have to use the cotton twine that I'm using. You could use a mop head. You could use yarn. You can literally use anything you like. I just wanted to see what this would look like, and I actually really do like it. So just once you've made your way all the way across the CD, take the other half of the CD and glue it on top, kind of sandwiching in between the cotton twine. And then from there, all I did literally was take the same craft stick I was already using, cut it down to size, and gave it a good coat of what do you call that? Antique wax by Waverly, and glued it on the front. And now we have a little bitty version of an anthropology-inspired piece that I love. You could do quite a few of these and fill up a wall. It'd be so pretty. So for our second DIY, I took 3 more CDs outside, gave them a coat of white by Rustoleum, just flat white. And then while I was out there, I found a piece of wood from my stash, gave it a good coat of this spray paint as well. And you don't have to do that. I just kind of wanted the white to show through the black stain that I'm going to use in a minute. And I just used this black stain by Rust-Oleum that I have, that I got on clearance, and gave it a good coat. And I don't know why, but every time I stain a piece of wood, I always forget the sides. So I left that in my video showing you that I did the sides, because I always forget. And I get so mad at myself. So maybe that's a reminder to you guys not to forget either. But this is the result of that. And see, it kind of looks like a gray wash. I love that. So anyway, then I found a piece of scrapbook paper that I really liked. And I just cut some squares out of it and spelled out the word eat with Dollar Tree stickers. And I'm just going to Mod Podge them on to the CDs. And you guys, I changed my mind on this DIY about 85 times. Like, no lie. Seriously, a bunch of times. So actually, when you see the piece of wood again here in a minute, it's going to have little glue dots on it. And that is because I had originally went straight in and glued them to the piece of wood, and I was using the hot glue to kind of fill in the holes in the CDs. And I was, like I said, I was going to go a different way, but then I found this in my stash and I kind of liked it better. So I went this way, and I was just too lazy to pull off the glue. So yeah, plus I kind of used it to line them back up. But anyway, this is the result of that project, and I love it. I'm a very farmhouse girl, and I can't help it. It's so pretty. So anyway, my third DIY was actually probably one of my favorite ones. I don't know, but my son has been really into boiled peanuts lately, and I have 1,000 of these cans laying around. So I just kind of cleaned one up and took off the thing that said boiled peanuts, you know, and cleaned off the glue and gave it a good coat. I dabbed on some white by Waverly, but I kind of didn't do like a really good job coating it, if that makes sense. Like, I let some of that gold shine through just a little bit here and there, and I love that look. I really did. It was really pretty the way it turned out. And look at me. Looking at this now hurts, because I can't believe I wasn't smart enough to just tape it to my desk. But I took 3 pieces of twine and made like a braid. See, just a simple 3-strand braid, just so that the twine would be thicker. And then I took a piece of masking tape, put on the underneath side of the CD, and just started wrapping around and gluing and wrapping and gluing and wrapping and gluing until I had covered the whole CD. And I'm going to use it like a lid for the boiled peanut container. See, I have no idea why I did it like that, but that's what I did. I kept, when I was braiding it, y'all should have heard me. I was getting so mad. It was so funny. So anyway, now I had some black yarn in my stash, so I decided to make some little tassels. And I am definitely not the authority on tassels. Trust me, I'm probably not the first person, or the person you need to listen to. Trust me, I'm not. Excuse me. So, all I did was wrap it around, and then cut one side, and then cut like a little piece of yarn, and tied it around, flipped it over, tied it around, and then cut it. I'm not the best at making these little tassels, but you know, I got the job done. So then I took another piece of braided twine, and I started, you know, looping them onto the twine. Onto the braided twine. You guys, I'm so excited about this video today. Y'all don't forget to go check out Khushiyana's channel when you're done here. She is phenomenal. I'm telling you, she's definitely somebody you don't want to miss. So then take the braid, and I was just gluing just the braided pieces of jute. I wasn't actually gluing the tassels. I went back and glued them separate, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And that worked out really good for me. So see, after I got the twine glued down, then I went back and added glue to the back of the tassels to hold them down and in place. And that really did seem to work better for me. So maybe that'll work better for you too, I don't know. But the great thing about gluing these to this can is the can has ridges in it, and I could literally take my scissors and made sure I stayed on the same ridge and gave my tassels a trim, and it made it so much easier to make sure they were all the same size. It was awesome. So then I found this little ball in my stash, and of course it was definitely the wrong color, so I gave it a paint of Ink by Waverly, which is just black chalk paint, and I glued it to the top like to give a decorative touch to the lid. And it's so cute, and I love it so much. So for the 4th DIY, I just, these are the only beads that I have in my stash, and they're just the Dollar Tree Crafter Square beads. And I opened a box, or a container of them, and just took all the big ones, and I put them on that thing, and I gave them a coat of white paint. Then I took my paint sticks, and I cut them down, and I put those aside for now, and I'm just going to use the longer pieces. Then I just took apart my 8x10 frame, and I honestly didn't take the time to take out the staples. They didn't really bother me. You can if you want, but I personally just removed the, you know, just the canvas, and set aside the canvas for another DIY. So then I took a sponge and stained my wood with Antique Wax by Waverly. Are you surprised? I love my antique wax. I can't help it. It's probably my favorite way to stain wood. It's so pretty. So anyway, I debated whether I should leave all this in here or not, but I start with Waverly Steel, and I water it down like a lot. Like a lot. And I stain 4 of the pieces of wood to start with. I think I did 4. I debated whether I should leave this in the video because this is kind of long, the way I stain these pieces, but I wanted y'all to be able to at least try and duplicate it if you wanted to. So then I took this color by Apple Barrel, and I'll list it in the bottom. And these are all just different shades of gray, and I added that, and that made it a little thicker and a little darker. And I took a couple of more pieces and gave them a coat of that, and wiped it off. And this is just me just totally being random, just making up colors, and you know. So then I added some elephant, and I painted the last few, or stained them, I guess. And so now they're all different various shades of gray. See? They're so pretty. So then I added some ink to make it even darker, and at this point I did have to go back and add some water as well. It was getting a little bit too thick. And I just kind of am randomly grabbing pieces that I had stained earlier with the really light to start with and making them darker. Then I found this Lagoon color and I added it to the mix and started adding that to some of them. And it turned out really beautiful. See how pretty? Then I took some, I think that was Truffle by Waverly. And see, it created like another shade of green. And that is how I did all my sticks. I just kind of laid them out in a pattern that I thought was pretty. And now I'm just going to glue this on the top, and now we have the makings of our tray. Those almost have like a beach vibe. But anyway, getting back to our CDs and DVDs, sometimes if you cut them, see, without getting them hot, they kind of crack like that. So I found this tip online to put them in really almost boiling water, and I did that with my scissors as well. And then see, they'll cut without cracking them. And for this particular DIY, we're not really cutting in the middle. We're kind of cutting out the middle of the CD. See what I mean along that line? There you go. Like that. Cut that part out. And you'll need to do that to 2 DVDs or CDs so that you'll have a total of 4 pieces, and paint them white. Spray paint them white. And I wanted to actually stain these after that with the antique wax, but it was like it wasn't really drying to it. It never would dry. It was still just staying waxy. So I had to go in with truffle and, you know, add that on top of that. It was the only way I could get it to stain the way I wanted, or to, you know. So I did the same thing to the beads. And, you know, I'm not trying to get total coverage here. I'm just kind of dry brushing. A heavy dry brush. So in order to make our little handles, I take the first DVD and glue it on the inside edge, and then kind of take my beads and, you know, I'm going around the top and like lining it, and then add your outside DVD and do that to both sides. And it creates like these little handles that I think are just beautiful. Y'all, I love this little tray. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of it. I love it that much. I really do. Just the different colors and the grays and the greens, and it's just so pretty. And of course, y'all know I have to outline and twine. I just have to. It's just who I am. I'm sorry. I'm just a twine person, okay? So that's just me embellishing. And now we have a cute little tray where you could put little play pretties or use it as storage for your remotes or whatever you want. I just threw in some little plants just to kind of, you know, show you that there's 1,000 things you could do with this. So for our 5th and final DIY, you need 2 packs of the larger paint sticks, but you only need 4 sticks, but you'll need 2 packs to get 4 sticks, if that makes sense. And stain them all down with the antique wax. Look at me. See, I need to start wearing gloves. Look how dirty I get. So this is how I spaced them. I used my little, what is that called? A square. And mine came from Dollar Tree. Just to make sure that, I'm sorry my camera went sideways again, and that's why you have the black things on both sides. I'm so sorry about that. But I did this twice. Taking 2 of the CDs, gluing on the top, using that square to make sure that they were the same width apart, and then making sure that you glue them, you know, to the top. And this is a way you can make a plant stand without having to use a drill or anything else. You can literally just use glue. And I didn't have a dowel in my stash at this time, so I took these larger like wooden skewers that you get in the barbecue section at Dollar Tree, and just kind of glued 4 of them together and stained them with that antique wax to kind of create like a dowel to go in between the 2 CDs at the top of the plant stand that we're making. I hope that makes sense. And to cover like where the 2 CDs have like a hole in between, I just used some of the what do you call that? The rope, you know. to kind of fill that in. And honestly, I wish I had went all the way down, but I didn't. But anyway, then I took some craft sticks and I actually paint them with the Rustoleum oil rub bronze spray paint as well. And it gives it, I've never used that spray paint on wood before. It looks really freaking cool. Like it really does. But these are just craft sticks. See how I'm gluing them. Then these are paint sticks. And these are not the larger paint sticks. These are the ones that are the smaller, you know, the smaller ones that come in like a pack of 10, I think. And you can get these at Lowe's or Walmart or Home Depot. And see what I'm saying? I'm making like a little tray at the bottom of the plant stand. And I just love that spray paint. I'm definitely using this again. It's beautiful on wood. I've never used it on wood. And I promise you, you're probably going to see this a lot from here on out. Because I wish that my camera was doing it justice. It literally is so pretty. But you could keep going up the sides if you wanted and create, you know, like a bigger tray at the bottom. But now I'm poking holes in 2 CDs and I'm doing 3 holes. And this is how I did my holes. I don't know that I recommend that way. I probably would have used a drill if it was available to me, but I didn't have one available. So that's how I poked my holes. So anyway, then I just took some twine, made a little knot on the under half of the CD and fed it through. And that's what we're going to hang from our top of our plant stand. I hope that this is making sense, like the way I'm explaining this. Like make a knot at the bottom and then feed it through, cut it off. See, and now we're going to hang it from the top where we put our dowel. And now you have 2 little places to hang and put your little plants. Look how pretty. I just love it. And then, of course, while I was trying to take pictures, my cat gets in the way. So I had to share with y'all my cat. Look how pretty. I had the hardest time getting a good shot of this. But here's all of ours all together. Don't forget to go check out Khushiyana, you guys. She's amazing. You will love her. Look at that dress. Thank you guys for watching.